Today's vlog is about do-it-yourself car repairs. So there are 3 things I need to get done on my car today. Washer pump, the power steering reservoir needs to be replaced. So the power steering reservoir has a filter in it, and the filter is bad. So I don't need a power steering pump, just the reservoir that holds the liquid. The liquid is just going into the pump too slow and is making a noise. Bottom line is there's a filter in there. It's causing the issue. And then I have to clean an air filter. That's one of those ones you reuse. You use a chemical to clean it, and then you can reuse the air filter. All 3 tasks, fairly simple. The thing is though, is if I have a mechanic do it all, it's gonna run me about $500 to $600. I know they're easy tasks, but I got the parts online, obviously at the best price. I'm gonna do all 3 tasks. The total of it was like 80 bucks or something like that. So gonna do all 3 tasks myself. I swore I was never gonna work on my own car again. I've done my own work here and there, but these tasks are so easy, and the price to have someone do them is gonna be $500 or more. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Anyways, that's on the docket today, and we're gonna go ahead and film it a bit. So one of the tasks we got going on today is we have to clean the air filter. All that dirt. I want a clean environment as much as possible, but the paper is just so I don't get it on everything. Okay, next step is gloves. Alright, so my very first step should have been to put gloves on. Right now, for the other 2 things, I'm letting my engine cool down. Let's go ahead and get this done. This is apply the cleaner. Want to obviously keep it over the mat. I can kind of see in the light where I've got cleaner or not cleaner. It says get the back of it too. This is where all the grit is and everything. I can already see the dirt kind of coming off. That's done. Now it says let it sit for 10 minutes. Alright, so that task is going to take 10 minutes. The other thing I want to do is get my washer fluid to the right level. It's just above the first line. I'm going to get it above. I'm going to use a nice big funnel. Got it up to just below the second line. I don't want to go too full, but it is summer, and definitely want to make sure all these things are topped off. If we're able to see it on camera, it's right there. That's good enough for now. And this is the other part we are replacing. I have a bucket here because of the chemicals on it. It's just a bucket of water. Because I don't know the chemicals that are on here. I just want to be careful. It says to rinse it, but I don't want to rinse it in the kitchen sink and have stuff go down the drain that shouldn't. So I can do it this way. Alright, that's the 10 minutes, and then just rinse it right on in here. Oh wow. You can see how water just completely changing color. And that went brown. And look how much cleaner that is. Jeez, I think that's good enough. It's a nice sunny day out, so I'm just gonna let it just dry outside. Alright, and then we have 2 other tasks. Hopefully my car's cooled down quite a bit. Alright, so this is the part we're replacing. As you can see, it's right here. First things first, now I'm not a mechanic at all, but I know a few things, and one of the first things you want to do is disconnect it. Even though I'm mainly dealing with hoses and stuff like that, you just, there's always a risk of electrocuting yourself. Even if you're doing your brakes, you should just do the battery, just for safety precaution. So there's 2 bolts here that are 8mm, but before I do those, I got this thing I'm gonna extract it with. All the fluid, try to get all the remaining fluid out of here. Which is quite a bit. I'm going to try to get as much out as I can. Now what I want to do real quick is clean this with water. Just suck water up, test it, and just kind of clean it. Stick this in here. And just try to get as much of the fluid out as I can. And I have a Gatorade bottle to put it all in. Look how red that is. It's clear when you buy it. Wow, that did quite a bit. See if I set that there. Yeah, you can see the bottle. That bad boy in. And just shoot it all out. It's like blood and being a surgeon or something. If you're wondering where I got this, I think on Amazon. I can't remember. I've used it for a few things. It's good though for getting liquids out of the car. Alright, let's get as much more as we can out of here. Oh, there's like gritty stuff in here. I probably cleaned it just with this thing. Look at it. I hope I bought enough. I may have to actually walk to the store and buy some. And this little reservoir, it's bigger than I thought. I'm probably pulling it out of the system, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. But it looks pretty fucking dirty. Alright. Get this in my water bucket. Next step, just so I don't lose, I'm going to put the cap back on. I know it's not useful, but next step is to get these bolts off, which are 8mm. Well, one is out. This one will be easier. Alright, that's out. Okay, so this one wasn't held up by this. So a lot of people showed that there was like 2 bolts holding this up. These are the OEM parts. I got something for that. Wow, someone in a video had a 3rd bolt down below. Either this has been replaced before and the 3rd bolt isn't there, or something along those lines. I once got stuck on one of these for like an hour. I hate removing these OEM clamps. I mean, they're good, that's for sure. They fucking stay, but walk it back. Alright, I'll walk that back. Oh, let me get a paper towel real quick. I might try and rush to get this off. It took longer than I expected, and I didn't think there was still so much juice in here. Got it. Walk it off, walk it off. Alright, so I got a lot loose. I paused because I had to clean up a little bit. Alright, so the old one's off. Let me set this aside. Alright, so let me see if this new clamp will work or be big enough. I don't think it's going to be big enough. Oh no, that's not going to be big enough, but it'll work on the other one. Where's the other? Okay, it'll work on this one. Definitely leave that there. I'm just going to leave the old clamps on. I noticed a lot of fluid in the big hose. I might try to get that out. Yeah, that one will fit perfectly. So I have a bigger clamp. So I have both clamps I'm going to use. You know, this fluid is like dirty, so I'm trying to see if I can get as much out as I can. And what I'm going to do is pour some fluid in the hose. I think if you start it without 0 fluid, it could act up. There's still some in the system, but that's okay. And that's what I actually want. So how about we put this new one back on? So one of the things I'm going to do is actually put some just directly into the tube. Now the hard part, getting this thing back on. That went on like a fucking piece of cake. The shit. I'm all out of breath and everything. Auto mechanic bullshit. Alright. Down in there like that. Okay. Holy cow, that wasn't fun. Okay. I was trying to hold the top of it so the audience can see that I can keep accidentally loosening it. Alright. Next step is to deal with all these clamps. What I do, so I've heard from different people, if you break these, like once you separate them, they're not really good anymore. And they still work. So these things, they still work, but they lose their like ability a bit. Like they're kind of like a one-time thing, but I use them as like a double clamp kind of thing. This is not like a must, and most mechanics probably don't do this, but just getting them off sometimes is a real pain. I think it's on there. Yeah, it's on the plastic. Now before I fill it, I'm gonna wipe everything down. One of the car projects I have to do is the spark plugs are next. Normally when you refill this reservoir, you're not going to be dealing with the spark plug plugs. But I kind of made a mess and really had to kind of clean it up. But actually the next thing on the docket is the spark plugs. Hate to say it, but this car is starting to slowly skip when I start it. I'm not going to start it yet just because I'm doing the washer thing next, but I'm going to definitely take a break. This will do, but I don't think it's really for this. Get the rest of this in here. See how the fluid's going in? It's just like clear. That's how power steering fluid should be. Now there's obviously still old stuff and I can go to mechanic and flush it, but I pulled so much out that'll probably just like be a light red. I'm not too worried about that. I mean, you saw how red it was before, and I'm assuming that it could get pretty dark without like doing too much crazy stuff. So that was the hardest task. I wanted to do the hardest task first. I'm going to leave the battery unlocked for now. The hardest task was because of time, just in case this took longer than I expected. But the next one is a washer thing, but that's pretty quick. So the next task on the docket is a washer pump. And apparently for this, I just need a screwdriver. For 2 screws. Apparently the stuff just kind of slides in and out. I took a I think about a good hour break. I needed it, man. It's starting to warm up, and that's one reason why I'm trying to get my car up to par. But alright, gonna separate this a little bit. All this stuff is all plastic these days. That's it right there. The washer pump. But as you disconnect the hoses, let me see. Alright, not the best angle, but this will have to do. I think I goofed up with the car, but alright. What I'm gonna do is line this bottom part right here with tinfoil. Set the liquid out. Like a lot of people, I want to try to save what I can. So the inside of this part is gonna be like all dirty and everything, right? I'll try to show it with my camera as it goes along, but I want obviously to catch it in a bucket and keep the fluid clean to the best that I can. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. First, okay, the electrical tape. They mentioned that there was electrical tape around it. There was a thing about potentially a drain plug. Let me look at this one, see if there was one. I don't see it. I don't see any drain plug thing. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is just pull these off. The thing about the washer pump is it just kind of sits on there. So my battery died and I have to go camera right now. You see there's the foil. See, so I pulled the piece out. It's working, it's trickling into there. Put off the foil and there's not much I can do but just sit here and wait. The battery died on the main camera from filming all the other stuff. So I'm going to throw that on the charger real quick and let this drain. It could probably take 10-20 minutes. I also got to get the electrical outlet part up there removed. Alright, so all the liquid is out. No even little drip drops anymore or anything like that. Now it's just time to get that bad boy out of there. So I'm going to try to work on that and get the electrical thing out and play with it, see how it goes. But it looks like it just kind of rests in there. It's not, there's no screws or bolts, no more tools. It was just a screwdriver to remove this. That was it. I really messed up on the tire thing. I angled it wrong. Alright, so I took that red piece off and then it slides out from here. I thought it slid out from the top. It's not the top. So it was kind of, I thought it was this little nub thing up here. It's not. And there's a rubber gasket there. And the thing comes with one. I might just replace it because it's new. Or how hard it could be to take out. That wasn't hard at all. Let me get this other one in. Some fluids taken out. Watch, this is going to be the problem now. Just getting it back in. Getting the new one in at least. This is why I don't like to work on cars. I do like really good, and then all of a sudden like something will happen. Like that little red locking piece. Did I just lose it? Oh no, it's right here. That little red locking piece will be like one of those things where it's like the final touch and I can't get it back on. Plug this in. So, and I'm gonna get this placed. Okay. Oop. But I didn't crack anything. Reattach the hose. Don't break anything. Hey, that seems flush. For such a kind of cool, important part, there's not. It's kind of flimsy. I mean, alright, that's the end for that one. Alright, now what's time to do is refill it. My bad. I figured. Well, I guess it's topped off. I still want to get the air filter back on. So we're going to do that part next. And for right now, I'm going to go ahead and clean up a little. And the next step is the oil. I should probably wear a glove for this. And then what it looks like. So you know the stuff came off super easy. I think this is what causes it. So essentially, when the particles stick to it, they don't really stick to the main metal thing. They're just sticking to the filter. Looks like I'm missing things, but it's probably I have too much in some areas. All right. So now the air filter. If you can see a stop warning sign right here. That's to explain it has one of these, but I didn't know, when I bought this car, I didn't know what those things were. So I replaced it, I kept it, but I replaced it as a regular air filter. I figured, well, I bought the air filter already. I don't have the chemical kit. I'll just go ahead and just buy a regular air filter, like this here. It's not too bad. Like mechanic-wise, this isn't too dirty. But I don't know if these vehicles came with this or someone put it in afterwards. Maybe it came with, because it has a little dent right there. So, it looks like that indent goes right there. That's a really snug fit. Alright. Put the air filter in. Both clamps. There's no third one on this car. This is everything. So today we got this replaced. We got the washer fluid replaced and the air filter, and there's some stuff I want to put in the gas tank, and all we have left is just the battery. Get this back up and going. Ooh. I think it's on. And like, I know you don't want them too tight, but you don't want them falling off. Alright, moment of truth. Let's start it and see if you guys see it. Quieter, but I have to test the windshield wipers. You see the reservoir went down a bit. It's all working. Alright, so one more added thing that needs to be done is this here. We're going to toss that on in. All gone. I'm hoping, I don't really believe in these things, but I'm hoping it will work with the, like one of my cylinders is misfiring. So that's what I'm hoping it'll help with. If it buys me some time, it starts to go bad in like a month or so, I'll do the tune-up myself. But if I get like 4 months, and I'll have some money set aside just to have a mechanic do a tune-up. It's not too hard, but I really don't like doing maintenance on my own car. Today was eventful. This is going to be fun editing. I've got something like an hour and a half of footage. I'm probably going to try to get down to below 20 minutes. Really kind of, you know, I really don't like working on my car, but I feel like I really accomplished something today. I mean, I got kind of a lot done, stuff that I've been putting off. Now the car feels like it's driving a lot better, but that could be kind of like your psyche working up. I kind of see it that way. There's a chance that definitely some improvements. It's not making any more noise when steering and all that stuff. So that's good. So we'll have to see over time. But yeah, it feels like, so I went for like a 20-minute test drive and just felt like everything was like better. Like obviously the power steering was working a lot better and stuff, but it felt like there was like no noise. It felt like the AC was colder, things like that. But what I fixed, I don't think would really make a big difference on that. But yeah, today was eventful. I know for a fact, like, I need to get my engine mounts fixed. And I know for a fact I won't do that. I won't get under the cars anymore for that stuff. I'll have a mechanic. But the task I did today was only like $80, $90 in parts. And if I had a mechanic do it, it would have been like $400 to $500. And as you saw, it was really easy. I mean, the pump I just needed a screwdriver, that was it. And the rest of the stuff just kind of, you know, auto did. And then there was only 2 bolts holding that power steering reservoir together. But the only problem I had was just, man, the hose off. That hose was really on there good. I was even like kind of panicking a little bit that I wasn't going to be able to get it off and everything. But it all came off. Everything is driving normal. It's completely quiet. Like I said, in my mind, it feels better. It feels like, oh my god, this is like I could go across the country kind of a thing. But I think it's like just my mental state, you know, kind of like, oh, I fixed this whole thing. And so we'll have to see. We'll see over the next couple of weeks how much better if it's driving, and if it is actually improved. Obviously, some of the things I did. I mean, the window washer thing, is just nice to get that thing running again so I don't have to hand wipe my own windows. The power steering one was a big one, but I don't think it would really affect the engine all that much. And those additives I put in, I realized those things from talking to mechanics and stuff, they kind of buy you time. So those like tune-up in a can you see, or a tune-up in a bottle, they just buy you time. The reality is, if it's time for a tune-up or something like that, you should get it. All those things will do is just kind of, you know, add maybe a couple extra weeks or a month. But like I said, if it still is having trouble when I'm starting and it feels like something's kicking, like it's misfiring, then I'm going to go ahead and just do the tune-up myself. But if I get like a good 3 months out of that, I'll have enough money sort of set aside. I'll just have a mechanic do the tune-up. The spark plugs in the front are really easy to get to, obviously, but that van has spark plugs in the back that you kind of need tiny hands, and some mechanics I've heard have even dropped the engine, so they take it off the mounts and lower it, and I don't want to go through all that. You know, it's kind of like a feel around game. You have to kind of feel around and see if it's if you got them or not. But anyways, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So thanks for sticking around. This isn't a tutorial, I'm just kind of filming my day, and I haven't worked on a car in, I don't know, about a year or 2, but I was hoping not to work on them ever again. I kind of got a better paying job. But if we're kind of watching this as like a how-to, it's not really. I kind of explained a few things going through, and it could probably help you, but it's not a direct how-to. It's just kind of me working on my car. Anyways, have a good day, and see you guys later.